Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing Media and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode. Now, I go to Home Depot all the time.
Every day, if you
I have to go right after we record this podcast because I need a screwdriver.
Yes, he does.
Not a drink, but an actual screwdriver. I could use one of those too, though.
Yes.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
Well, hello, and welcome to episode 68 of Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes. I'm John Ondo. I'm a filmmaker and a media consultant, producer guy. Along with me is my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
She has a cupcake business on the side, and she is a customer service expert. And I hope wherever you are today, you are enjoying the beautiful fall weather.
Yes, here in Ohio.
Yeah, and if you're in Australia, I hope you enjoy the beautiful spring weather that we have lost already here. But yeah, so as we record this episode right now, it is the day before the big election.
Yes.
So for those of you who tune in after Tuesday, I hope you're well and are realizing that we're still a great country no matter what happens.
Regardless of the decisions, we are still Americans, and I think it's all going to be just fine.
It's all going to be just fine. I am a big political guy, as you know. It's a sport to me.
Huge.
I like looking at it from all angles. But one of the questions I had, especially since we've been working with some political folks, I've been doing some commercials, and I've got probably another client we're going to be working with commercials and media next year, is there's some interesting parallels between having a business and communicating to your clients, whether it's online or in person, and the political world of doing the same thing. And I thought, well, why don't we take a look at, it's an article that came out in Center for Civic Design, talking about how to communicating with voters. And as I was reading this, I thought, boy, this all absolutely applies to small businesses, large businesses, but I think there are lessons to be learned. So I thought today we'd run through some of that and see if I can shed some light on some of these things on the article. We can kind of go through it that way. So does that sound fun to you?
I think it sounds fantastic because, again, communication is key no matter what you're doing. So whether you're communicating to a voter, communicating to clients, communicating to your spouse or your children.
Well, that doesn't work quite as well.
Well, but the principles are the same. So any Hoosier. So it says here as the number one about, again, and you can almost say that for anything, use the appropriate medium. So John, what do you believe related to political ads that you've done and communicating to your clients? What do you think that they're referring to? Or how do you feel about what they've written, I should say, regarding that?
So again, this is an article. You can find it online. It's just Center for Civic Design. It's a very good article and just talks about use the appropriate medium as their first point and printing booklets to help voters plan and the websites and the social media. And again, taking that from politics to business, it's absolutely critical. So when somebody says, nobody's on Facebook anymore or nobody's on Instagram anymore, just fire them. And I'm halfway serious when I say that, because when people say no one does something or follows social media or follows or gets direct mail, that just means they're following just one pipe in the pipe works here. And absolutely, we received direct mail for the elections.
So much,
but I look at all of it. I like seeing what they're doing. I like
throw it all away.
I want to see what their message is. I received a Home Depot catalog this weekend. I was very excited about. Now, I go to Home Depot all the time.
Every day, if you
I have
can.
to go right after we record this podcast because I need a screwdriver.
Yes, he does.
Not a drink, but an actual screwdriver. I could use one of those too, though.
Yes.
And, and I have to get that at Home Depot. And so I'm there all the time, and I'm on the website all the time seeing if they've got the said screwdriver I need. But you know what? I got the catalog, and I was like, yay, I got a catalog.
He was pumped.
Because you sit by with your cup of coffee in the morning, you flip through your catalog. It's kind of nice. So my point to this is when people say no one's using catalogs anymore, no, that's not totally true. No one is on Facebook. That's not true. So you have to have the appropriate medium. So you find that it's a mix. It's like if you understand mutual funds. Mutual funds are designed that you have money kind of everywhere and in the right scenarios. So when the market goes up, you make a little money, and if the market goes down, you only lose a little money. Same thing with your media. Facebook is trending older. If you want to get a hold of folks, that are 40 plus, you want to use Facebook.
So when you're using the spoken word, and this is number 2 in this, and I think, again, this one is extremely important, treat all communication as a conversation.
Oh my gosh.
So for me, this is huge because what I do every day in my real job and even when in my side hustle that I do, it's got to be a conversation. And the number one thing is choose tone and voice. And that is, like we just mentioned, how do you communicate with kids? And John's recommendation is, sometimes you just got to beat them in the head, again, metaphorically. It's tone and voice. So my children used to know by just the look on my face and the tone in my voice when I was serious. And customers feel the same way, and I'm sure clients feel the same way. If you're having a legitimate conversation about something, talking to them, not at them, then that's something you're going to be more apt to have a positive interaction.
This point works so well in not only in politics, but small business and marketing and just general life. And I'll take this back to my mentor who I worked with for about 3 or 4 years at 610 WTVN here in Columbus. Bob Connors was the morning show highest rated morning show ever in Columbus. What Bob told me one time, we talked about this, he says, when you talk with your audience, not down at your audience or up at or I guess it would be down to your audience like you're the smart guy, they're the morons, or up at your audience like you're just dumb and acting silly and they're smarter than you, you don't win long term at all. You have to talk and have a conversation with your audience. I was just working with a client the other day, and we were testing some things out, and the person was using the words, what I want to tell you, what I want to show you, things I want to talk about. And I said, we got to change all of that because you're telling me here's what I want to tell you. No, this is what I want to share with you. I think that's a very important thing, is to talk with your client, talk with your customers, and say, hey, we wanted to share this with you, versus I want to tell you. And there's really serious, that's a really serious thing when you say, I want to tell you. Work that out of your phrase vocabulary. If you use that on your podcast, or you use that in a on a YouTube video, don't tell me what you want to tell me. I'd rather you say, I'd like to share with you today some ideas. Make sense?
Yeah.
There's 2 big things you're always supposed to do in any political ad. I'm such and such, and I'm asking for your vote on November blah blah. That you're supposed to ask for the vote, and you're supposed to give people an idea of how to vote if you can. So go to my website, go to your polling place. Likewise, let's flip it to business. If you would like to buy my coffee cup, you can go to xyz.com. You give them a call to action. If you'd like to find out more, I have another video. So always give somebody another thing to do, I guess, is the thing we want to really emphasize here. You'll see this in any video I produce. There's never this is the end. It's always, for more information, for more, find out. So you must have that next link in the railroad car, if you will, to let people know. And they do that in politics, and you should do that in small business.
Well, I think this next one is, again, probably of all the things, in my opinion, the most important, because it's just the most sensical. And it's literally, it says, answer voters' top questions first.
Yeah.
So again, it's what is it they need to know first? And my customers I deal with when ordering cupcakes and cakes, first of all, is they want to know, can I do it on the day? And can I, in fact, do what they want? Well, I have 50 million other questions that I'm going to ask, but I usually will let them lead with, yeah, I'm free that weekend, and yes, I can do that. And then comes the bevy, of 50 million other questions.
Right. And you see that, well, you see that every time you buy something on Amazon.
Yep.
I'm buying a widget. When can the widget be delivered? Delivery can be within the next 2 days if you're a Prime member. And then you'll see things like the customer questions or the FAQs where it's like, will this kill my cat if I buy this? Mm-hmm. Will this work with this? Is it compatible? And they have those questions answered. And that's absolutely important in that style. Now, in politics, they do that in the sense of here are my top priorities. So if you flip it again for your business, what is it you can do? Well, the thing we do with our widgets is we can get them to you in 24 hours, or we custom make the widgets like no one else did, or this is a big thing, we're green. Everything we do with our widgets is completely recyclable. So these are all the things that you need to do. So answer your clients' questions first. And you can do that, again, in a conversation or with a post or whatever. Just say one of the things that makes us, and I think this is a big thing I ask with my clients all the time. I was working on a spot last week with somebody, and I said, what makes you different? I need to know what makes you different than everybody else, because what the service you provide is like about 80,000 other people. And they said, well, we answer the phone, and we talk, and we get okay, perfect. That's what I needed to know, because that helps me out. Don't tell me what you want to do. I need to know what you're doing. There's something good you're doing, because your business is moving. So find what that good thing is and kind of hit that really hard.
Well, this next point, I can't emphasize more from what I do every single day, and how important it is if you are running a business, or if just in general, which is update your information and often and early. So if you have a website and you haven't touched it in 6 months, well, shame on you. And if you have information or pricing or links or anything like that, and you haven't bothered to update it, well, good heavens, shame on you. Because again, I understand people are busy, and I understand if you're running a small business, you don't have time. But if that is where you're directing your clients and they have bad information, or the link doesn't work, or you have pictures and it says, see our gallery, and there's two, that's setting up a false information. Right. So again, updating your information early and often is definitely important.
I want to be careful what I say here, because I don't want people to misinterpret this. But if you are a restaurant, make sure your menu's accurate. Make sure that your location is obviously accurate. But otherwise, you can sit on your website for a month or two if you want. And I don't think that's going to kill you, because this isn't the old days where the website was the only way to get to your business. So you've got Yelp, you have other food apps that you can use that people are using more readily than going to your website. They go to those sites first and then go to your website. So again, I don't believe for all businesses. Some businesses you need to update daily. Some businesses you have to update monthly and weekly. But for many, and like myself, I only update my website quarterly. If I do that, I'll do some new articles on it, because I know for the most part, people aren't looking at my website every day to see what's going on.
Well, the next one is something John probably would talk an entire podcast about, which is the use of visual design to build trust and show professionalism. So John is I'll say it, he's a little bit of a snob when it comes to these kind of things, but he has every right to be, because of what he does every day. So he will look at a website within a matter of seconds and say, this is garbage. They didn't even spend time on it. Or he'll look and say, oh, wow, this is pretty slick. I understand what's going on. So the use of it is extremely important, because it really does show who you are.
If you worked on your website, if you built your website, and this is very difficult, and I have this problem as a creative person myself, you can't be the person who makes this decision. You need to go and find people who you don't know, because people you do know are going to still say, oh, it looks nice. Go find somebody who doesn't know anything about your business and just say, what do you think? Is there anything here that catches your eye or would offend you or whatever? The church I'm consulting, great people. I was going through some of their things. They have an app for the church that you can go to their live streaming. On the little button, how to go to your services, there's pictures of two guys and in front of the door. And it's supposed to look like, they're here to open the door. But one's got their arms crossed. they're rather large guys. And I said, that just looks like they're bouncers. I said, that's not, seriously. And what was funny was when I went to the folks and said, hey, we should change this. They were like, oh my gosh, we've seen that for weeks now. We realized that looks bad. They hadn't done it. And I said, change that photo.
Now.
So it's one photo could be, you think, oh yeah, this is great. And somebody else might say, that turns me off because there's body language in it or graphics are wrong. Little details make a difference. Have somebody else look at your site. It's that old saying, you never have a second chance to make a first impression. I did this with, again, let's bring it back to the political campaign that I had the pleasure of working with for this election. Wanted to do a really quick spot a couple days ago, last minute thing. I came in, she had the script ready. We went through it, and I let's change this phrase. Let's change this. Let's cut this part out because I think the people already know what's going on here. It was here's what I am, here's what I believe in, here's what my opponent believes in, and it was a conversation. So I was okay with it being a little, because you can't find out everything in 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. So when we reworked it, it was much smoother. So this is, again, why you have a media professional help you with your website, help you with your videos, because if you go out and just say funny things and you think it's cute, or you have something in the background that's distracting, it could kill your business. This is something I try to do with everything that I work on, is go through kind of a checklist of things with my media, with my clients, to make sure we're doing these things. You had one more quick point?
Well, there's actually two that round this out. That is basically, again, if you're going to be using something on emails or white mail or whatever, who's responsible for the information so they know where the information came from. And same thing, you'd want to do that on your own website for your business. And then the last one was put a date on it. So that's one of the big things, again, with my everyday job, and then probably with my website I should do a little bit better, which is like, when was this published last? When was this updated last?
Well,
because
and let me even add something else to it. There's a reason why GM and Ford and Chrysler and all those guys don't say, we have great savings going on, and that's it. It's always, we have great savings going on for the President's Day special, for the Halloween special, for the Christmas special, for the Valentine's Day, because that's, in your mind, that special is time sensitive, and if I don't take action on it, I lose.
Yes.
You have to put a deadline. We're having this special, and it runs till the end of the week or the end of the month, because you do have to give people a reason to call now. Otherwise, they won't.
If I have a customer going to look for something, and it's November now, and it's November 2020, and they go to that catalog and it says last updated August 2017, that doesn't give them a very good feeling.
No.
So,
and you're not going to show up in the latest results for Google and things like that. I'll be surprised how many people they'll put an email out, or a direct mail piece with no way for you to contact. They'll forget the phone number. Yep. They'll forget the website, or they'll do a phone number instead of the website, and you should have both. So those are some things you should look at doing. And if you want more information on us, it's Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes. We are on Instagram and on Facebook, and we would love it if you could subscribe and follow us each week. We've got a lot of great shows coming up. We want to find more people who can talk about food, because it's coming into the holidays. Will you be able to do some holiday stuff for us?
Of course.
So we'll start maybe ramping up for some Thanksgiving and Christmas ideas, recipes, cupcakes. And just remember to like us, and if you want to email us, john@ondomedia.com. But until next time, keep living the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram, and let us know your thoughts. Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.